but I imagine they're at least 18, right? Well, I mean, not imagine. They definitely have to be at least 18 to be a part of this video and have this conversation, because legally, Jubilee would be in trouble. This is... it's late night, all right? So first off, I do want to say, hey, I think the camera was a little blurry there, wasn't it? Yeah, it's a little blurry. There, it's a little clearer there. I'm gonna have to lean in more. I think I'm gonna have to like make that box smaller. I gotta play around with the settings and stuff like that. But you saw the channel, I got mad. Don't get mad. Now, obviously you see the title. The title is Can Sex and Love Be Separate? Polyamory versus monogamy, middle ground. This is on Jubilee's channel. Before you start saying, I'm not old enough to, you see the title of this. Make sure you are old enough to be a part of this conversation. Make sure you are old enough to watch this video. Do not stay watching the video only to complain about how you should not be watching this video. Okay? Okay. All right, so we're going to see what's in store. We're going to see polyamory versus monogamy. In that sense, I would say that I am probably more traditional. I would be on the monogamy side. Polyamory, I feel like if everybody agrees to it and everybody knows, then, c'est la vie. Do what you gotta do, boo. But if, only you have the secret that you're sleeping with a bunch of people and none of them know, then that ish ain't right. That's not cool. But hey, if everybody knows and everybody want to party, everybody party. Go ahead. Yeah, go get your spicy chips for this. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's check it out.
Middle ground is a social experiment that brings humans with opposing beliefs.
So in this one, they have like
These
a
discussions may
disclaimer.
Contain viewpoints that are the result of misinformation. Remember to seek out experts and to be critical of your own bias.
I wonder if they have to do this because of the other one, because the other one had like millions of views. So I wonder if they have this disclaimer of like, hey, these people aren't experts. There might be misinformation. I wonder if that's why.
Biases while forming an opinion.
Because of that one guy.
Humanity in each participant, and as always, we encourage empathy.
This video contains discussion of sensitive topics.
There's plenty of people out there that can separate sex and love, but for me, when I have sex with someone, I fall in love with them. And while I do have friends with benefits, these people are chosen very specifically because I know that I will have to go through heartbreak on my own when I have sex with them.
Huh? I have questions. Yeah, as long as all party are consenting, then yeah. Do you, boo?
Step forward if you agree with the prompt.
Oh, so these are polyamorous.
I can separate love and sex.
I'll be honest.
For me, I think that I can.
It's a weird sound. So with this first question, I can see how people can do it, right? So this is not me talking to anybody else or speaking to anybody else's experience. Me, you know what? I guess I could.
Separate it, but oftentimes it doesn't turn out that way. This is kind of a cliche, but I do think that sex for me is better when I'm in love and when I have respect and communication with the person. I also think it depends on how we define love, because I could maybe, love that person as a human, but maybe not in a romantic sense. So I think there's a lot of nuance around it. I'm not really someone who's gonna say like one or the other.
I also agree with that as well. When you have those intense feelings for a person, the sex definitely hits different.
Yeah, it's better.
Knowing that you feel safe enough with this person to be emotionally vulnerable as well as physically vulnerable with them, it's a very special bond that you share.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I really resonate with that because I'm actually a survivor of sexual assault, and
oh dear.
I'm also disabled.
I'm sorry.
So I think that trust plays a really huge role, and that perhaps could even, be more important than the love factor.
I think for me, I can make the clear distinction because I've had a lot of meaningless sex in my lifetime to make me feel good, to occupy the sense of loneliness.
Wait.
And then I've loved someone.
I like how there's, she looks way too young. She does look young, right? But I imagine they're at least 18, right? Well, I mean, not imagine. They definitely have to be at least 18 to be a part of this video and have this conversation, because legally, Jubilee would be in trouble. With that being said, I don't know. I'm gonna be open to hearing different points of views, and they are covering a lot of age ranges here. I'm just nervous. I'm just nervous about what he's gonna say, but we're gonna see. It could be just sweetness. He could be talking about sweetness.
Sex in my lifetime to make me feel good, to occupy the sense of loneliness, and then I've loved someone, but the sex part just hasn't worked out. But the love is there. And sadly, relationships like that didn't work out for me. And I do agree with what you guys said. When I'm in love and I can trust someone, it's better, especially as a trans individual. There's a lot of people out there trying to fetishize that don't understand your body or respect you. So having the love part makes it a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
I love deeply. The people that are around me feel that. Love and sex to me are completely different things. They absolutely can exist separately. I hate the fact that even the polyamory community is fetishized as well, and it's like completely sexualized. Similarly to you, I have a sexual trauma. I have things in my life that affected me deeply.
I'm so sorry.
That I'm still dealing with till this day. And the fact that it's automatically just clumped in is just something that I have to kind of oppose.
So I understand, especially with victims of sexual assault, that distinction has to be made and has to be separated, because that's something that you cannot attach to the abuser, right? That'll definitely murky the waters between you and potential relationships that you may come across if that attachment of love and sex is intertwined, especially if you were sexually abused. So I completely understand the distinction and the separation that is needed in those instances, for sure, 100%.
Well, I don't believe this is true for everyone. Obviously, there's plenty of people out there that can separate sex and love. But for me, when I have sex with someone, I fall in love with them. And while I do have friends with benefits, these people are chosen very specifically because I know that I will have to go through heartbreak on my own when I have sex with them.
I've been with the same person. My husband and I were high school sweethearts. He's the only person I've ever been with. And so it would be hard for me to separate sex and love because I've never had to.
I think it's also important to note that.
So I will say, same for me, we're not high school sweethearts, but my husband has been my one and only, my love. He's been the one and only. But like I said, I can understand how other people can do it.
Some people
and
are
may need to.
Asexual, and so if I have an asexual partner, which I have not had before, I would have that discussion, and it wouldn't have to be integral to be part of our connection and such.
My name is Jessica, and I'm polyamorous. To me, relationship anarchy really has to do with destructuring our ideas of hierarchical relationships, in that romantic and sexual relationships don't have to be at the top. I think it's actually a lot healthier to have a community with our friends, our family, romantic partners, etc.
My current
Okay, so she's saying that
relationship status
having
meets my
hold on. So she's saying that that she thinks it's better, instead of like you're with one person, one partner, to be able to love on different that explains what she said earlier, how she believes that there's different types of love and the nuances and things like that. Okay, I'm understanding her point. Her perspective is what I mean. Her perspective. I do feel like for me, it's one person, but everybody's different. Everybody's different.
And if I do say something really,
so for people wondering, the question is, my current relationship status meets my needs, and yes, mine does. Yeah, baby AY about to come out and help clean, right? She will. Yeah, I'm 33.
Violently during a panic attack, he keeps coming back. He keeps trying. Our love is stronger after every single disagreement and every single hurdle.
That's good.
So for myself, I practice the type of polyamory called solo polyamory, or sometimes a style called relationship anarchy. And these two styles are inherently less about hierarchy.
Okay, hold on, let's read. So many solo polys remain single-ish, motivated by autonomy and personal freedoms versus being a part of a multi-person unit. Okay, so essentially they're like, because I'm just trying to understand. So it's not like they don't have like a group of people, like using these people, for example, like regular polyamory, I guess, is where they might be in a group and they're all like, hey, we agree to be a part of this group. But versus single-ish is where they're not really together. They just I guess, live by themselves but still have relationships with people. I guess I don't like when you say you're polyamorous, because the sex part I understand, but relationship part, like the ability to have multiple romantic relationships at the same time, that part I'm not sure. I don't really truly grasp. Like the sexual part, I think I completely grasp. You know, it's a physical act. You can do that with multiple people, sometimes at the same time, right? But in this case, when it comes to emotional, you know, the emotional relationship, romantic relationship, I'm interested to learn more about that.
And more about autonomy for myself with my current relationships, or what I'm able to achieve. It gives me enough flexibility for me to feel really good about the things that I choose to take part in. And even if I'm in a relationship that's not so great, or a relationship that isn't fulfilling to me, I can still be looking for other relationships, or maybe I have another existing relationship that is more fulfilling, or that actually like does support me in a way that my other relationships don't. My name is Randall, and I'm polyamorous. For me, the process of coming out as polyamorous was really me deciding that getting out of monogamous relationships because I had feelings for somebody else was just not working for me. I noticed that other people were
had feelings
other
for
styles of
other people,
where they were being truthful to their partners and admitting the fact that they had feelings for other people and doing it ethically.
Okay, so he's doing it ethically.
Currently, I am dissatisfied with my relationship status because I did just come out of a really bad breakup, so I am single at this point, and I can be self-sufficient enough to enjoy my own company, but it's just in certain moments in life, like for example, I was taking a long road trip, and I just like imagined my ex, like, you know, me caressing her leg, like while we're on the road trip. And you kind of wish that you just like had a person just to share those moments with.
So I practice parallel polyamory, which means that my husband.
Hold on. So and it sounded like she was about to say husband. Okay. Parallel polyamory is when each individual relationship exists independently of either partners, additional romantic or sexual relationships. Wait. Hold on. Wait, what? Okay. Each individual relationship exists independently, of either partner's additional romantic or sexual relationships. All right, let's have her further explain. You gotta go. Thanks for coming.
We're on the road trip, and you kind of wish that you just like had a person just to share those moments with.
So I practice parallel polyamory, which means that my husband and I see other people, and we don't necessarily need to meet or get along with the other people that we're seeing. And I love my husband. I've been with him for 18 years coming up, and I have some friends with benefits, but I am looking for someone else to be like in a relationship with that fulfills some needs that I'm not getting from my current partner. What I've been looking for, I'm starting to probably determine that I'm not going to find one person who is going to fill the rest of these boxes, and I may have to separate that up into multiple other people, whether it's relationship-wise or otherwise. I'm Bunny, and I am polyamorous.
Your name is so cute.
The way that I deal with jealousy is I like to break it down and ask myself why.
Yeah,
why am I feeling jealous of my husband? Is it because he's spending time with someone else and I need more time with him, or my other partners? Or is it something else? And once I break it down...
That's one thing for me. Like, I wouldn't be able to share my husband with anybody else because I don't want... I wouldn't want that someone else supplied those things for him. You know, right? You know, and, you know, call it selfish, if you will, right? I wouldn't want that somebody else was able to supply certain needs for him. I would want that he would get everything from me. And I do understand the aspect of, in her case, she's a parallel polyamory where she is married. Her and her husband have an agreement to, you know, date others. To me, that would be exhausting. Yeah. That would be exhausting to date more. Like, being married is a lot. It's a lot, right? I know it's a lot for my husband, for sure. Trust me. Y'all get a fraction of my personality. He gets the whole thing. So it's a lot, right? So to take on somebody else's like emotions and mindsets and all that stuff, that would be way too much for me. It would be exhausting. It would be exhausting. I cannot share my significant other with other people because I get jealous quick and be ready to fight. I would be too. I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that. So for those asking, Destiny is a mod to keep the peace, to make sure people are, ain't acting crazy and are acting chill, because we still want to be chill. You can definitely still be friends with your ex. I do think you can be. I think you can be friends with your ex for sure, but you have to have boundaries. You have to have boundaries. Like, this doesn't happen for us, but like, hubby couldn't have his ex calling in the middle of the night. No. They can't, like, if we were like couples friends with like an ex, then that would be fine. But it couldn't be that he was solo a friend with an ex where they're, hee-heeing and kikiing. No, I'm not with that. No. But as a group, we could all be friends together, I can see those relationships where, like, let's say person A and person B, had a baby, right? And then they separated and they're both in relationships and everybody gets along. I can see that. I can completely see that. I can understand that. Hopefully that's not how our path goes. Hopefully it's just me and my husband till the end. I hope that's how it is. Yeah, no, y'all can be friends, but don't get too comfortable. Right, yeah. Y'all can be friends, but don't get too comfortable. Right. Okay, my mom's ex, they're still friends. Yeah, I think you can be friends with your ex. I think you can have that, as long as there are boundaries. As long as there are boundaries and understandings, that's good.
I can then address those issues, such as requesting more time with that partner if I am feeling jealous that I am not getting enough time with them. Or I can take it upon myself to fill said time with someone else or with another activity to be able to not focus on the jealousy that I'm feeling.
Patriarchy is the root of monogamy.
Well,
and a little bit of like
I would like to know why they think that. I'm pausing before I hear their answers because I want to have this dialogue. Patriarchy is the root of monogamy. I mean, you can argue that because I feel like it's historically, been that a lot of the times, and I'm not going to say every single time, right? A lot of the times you see where the man is out cheating and the wife is at home taking care of the kids. Like, they have one wife, but they out sleeping with a bunch of other women, right? And that's not always how it happens. Sometimes the roles are reversed, right? Sometimes the man is at home and the wife is out there sleeping with other people. But more times than not, a lot of us know when we're thinking of those, cisgender relationships, the male is out cheating while the female's at home taking care of the kids. So it's like that aspect that they may want you to be faithful and monogamous to them while they're being out there being polyamorous. So I can see where someone will argue that, but at the same time, the idea of monogamy would be that they just stay with you and it's just that, it's just you and you and your one person.
Research, I guess, that I've been doing and realizing that it was absolutely contractual. It was absolutely for
marriage was contractual, yes.
Advantageous reasons. It was never love.
Way back when it was like you said, it was contractual. Like,
marriage, yes.
An object to be purchased. While that has changed, that is still rooted in the system of monogamy and.
Okay, I got you. I understand now. Yes. Because I'm thinking of nowadays, right? Not like way back when yes, marriage was contractual. There's like the dowry was what your father had to pay your soon-to-be husband's family or your soon-to-be husband, like a price. What is it called? The bride's price or bride price, I believe, is also what it's known as, for the marriage. Like you would have to pay, like my husband would have to pay my daughter's soon-to-be husband's family, historically speaking, for this wedding, for this marriage. Not for the wedding, but for this marriage, to get to be married, you know? Like give your daughter and like some donkeys, right? Would be the thing. So I can understand that, and I can see where the root of it was transactional, or to better kingdoms, you know. Kings would marry off their daughters to build better relationships with other kingdoms. It was transactional. It was definitely transactional. Yeah, I forgot about the dowry thing, right? Yeah. Forgot about that. So yeah,
people thinking they need to be with someone forever.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's how people stay in abusive relationships.
Which is sad. Very, very sad.
I feel like there is a lot of pieces of monogamy that are rooted in that patriarchal sort of feel. However, there are a lot of people who feel like monogamy is just the best option for them and are connected to their person regardless of that. If we're thinking about queer relationships as well, and people who are married to a partner of the same gender or outside of the norm, I don't feel like they are feeling that patriarchy.
I don't know if I would say that like the reason that everyone is monogamous. It does play a role in just the way that we just construct our realities.
But we see monogamy across so many species, and that has me wondering, obviously in human society it was a big component, but there's something so much larger than that in monogamy that reaffirms my belief that it's not really about the patriarchy. It's about this inherent need within us.
That is true. There are a lot of animals that just...
And some of us lean towards polyamory, and that's just the way it is.
Obviously, I'm a little bit older than everybody here. Grew up and really didn't know much different. The churches were pretty much, this is right, this is wrong.
Right.
You know, when somebody said polygamy, I was like, oh, they must live in Utah.
Oh, he said Utah because the sister wives and all that sorts of stuff, right? That's funny. That's funny. You just timed up. Yeah, this is Can Sex and Love Be Separate? Polyamory versus monogamy. And so we're trying to understand, and this is more so because I thought it was going to be more heated, but this is more of like a trying to understand type of situation of the difference. Well, I know the difference, right? But apparently there were differences in polyamory that I didn't even know existed. So we're just learning. We're learning.
Possibly exist. And there was no discussion of why somebody has that relationship, about any of that.
We should make a distinction that it's not also polygamy. We are polyamorous.
Okay.
So polyamorous and polygamy are two just different things.
And see, a lot of it is...
Right.
Oh, polygamy means multiple spouses.
Right.
Okay.
It's unrealistic to commit to being with
hold on. So she was, this is why it's important. Polyamory means multiple loves, and polygamy means multiple spouses. That right there would be super freaking exhausting to have multiple spouses. That would be too much for me. I would be emotionally exhausted. I could not. That made me just want to go to sleep. I can't.
Polyamorous and polygamy are two just different things.
And see, a lot of it is...
Right, just information and
I grew up not knowing.
Right.
It's unrealistic
and he seems open-minded.
to commit to being with someone forever.
I disagree.
So I feel like we spend a lot of our lives dating and trying to figure out who we'd like to be with, and we don't always get it right. So I feel like thinking about it that way, it's unrealistic to think about the fact that the one person that you end up choosing will be your forever person. It could change in the future. The divorce rate is very high in this country.
It is very high.
I think that's an easy way to think about it.
But I think that you could be with someone for forever.
That fairy tale concept that this is the one. And living on a planet that harbors like 7 billion people, I feel like that's highly unrealistic that you're just gonna be in love with just this one person your entire life. My name is Mel, and I am monogamous. I've just had this self-discovery that there's so many things about myself that I just need to work on, and it's rooted in me just not wanting to go out of my comfort zone, and polyamory is definitely something that is out of my comfort zone. If I was to try it, maybe I would actually like it.
Maybe. I don't think it's unrealistic.
I think it really depends on the person. I mean, I feel like I can only speak for myself. You know, a lot of people do stay together for, say, you know, kids or something like that, or perhaps finances. It's, you know, a privilege to be able to maybe get divorced or live on one income. So
there are some people
wouldn't
who
say that it's a, you know, catch-all.
There are some people who do stay with people for the wrong reasons. But I do feel like you gotta, you know, you have to be honest with yourself first before you can be honest with the other person. You have to think about, for you, right? What is healthy? What is possible? What is conceivable mentally, physically, emotionally for you in a relationship before you can continue. There are people who do, you know, stay for the wrong reasons, and it could be tradition or it could be religion, which religion is a tough one for a lot of people, right? Because they feel like they're going to go to hell if they leave, and they'll stay and get beat in the face because they don't want to go to hell. But hello, you're in hell now. He's beating you in the face, or she's beating you in the face, right? So like, it's when you have to be honest with yourself and what is happening in the relationship, and quantify the worth of continuing in that relationship. If you are being abused, that is not the relationship for you. You should get out of that relationship. F whatever somebody might be telling you to do. F whatever your family might be saying, or your church might be saying, or whatever. If you are getting abused, and argument is not abuse. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, those are different things versus arguing and disagreeing with somebody, right? So no matter what, or finances, and also kids, don't stay together just because the kids, you think it'll be better for the kids. No, because you are wasting your life in a relationship that you no longer have no longer have emotional stake in, when you could have been enjoying your life and finding a way to still provide for your kids for the best way that you can, right? Because that's all we're doing, is the best that you can, and getting them used to integrating and showing them happiness. Because here's the thing, we like to think that kids don't see, but kids do see. And when you stay in a relationship for the wrong reasons, where you stay in the relationship because you don't want to go to hell, or because you know, for the kids and all that stuff, right? Your kids see that. And then as your kids grow, they're going to think that that is what they're supposed to do. And then they will stay in relationships just because they feel like someone thinks it's the right thing that they're supposed to do, versus actually a relationship that they are invested in emotionally or romantically, or, you know, mentally. It sucks. You pass that on. You definitely pass it on. OMG, that reminds me of Love and Hip Hop. The lady was staying with her baby daddy for the kids. Meanwhile, he married another woman and had it on her face. Goodness. That sucks.
All black and white issue.
I definitely feel that you can be with someone forever, but you're going to change as individuals as you grow.
Yeah, you both will evolve and change.
It all depends on how those changes and work with each other. So if you are able to change and accept the changes of your partner, then you can be together forever. But a lot of people change, not necessarily in a bad way, but in an incompatible.
Some people grow apart, yes, as they evolve and grow.
I would also like to add, I did believe that I would have a forever person, but recent experiences of a breakup that just happened, that's what changed my perspective.
Yes.
And I looked at it more logically. I should be more open to the fact that I will meet other people down the line, and I shouldn't assume that this person is going to be with me my entire life.
I mean, I'm polyamorous, but I've been married to my first boyfriend since we were like teenagers. I think that's my forever person. And I believe that for me, and with the waves and with the changes, you know, you make that recommitment over and over again. And I think that there can be that forever person for anyone, but I also understand experience plays a role in that tremendously.
Very true, very true.
I haven't had that experience of loss.
My opinions of this have shifted after being in a really toxic, bad relationship where I really wanted it to be my forever, but deep down I always knew it probably wasn't gonna be feasible. And then after that relationship, I didn't want to be in a relationship at all. And this amazing person came into my life, and I knew, and I tried to push him away, but it became evident that that was just my person. My name is Luca, and I'm monogamous. After being in a polyamorous relationship, I really knew monogamy was the route I wanted to take. There was some jealousy going on in the relationship as to how I loved each person, and that I couldn't divide it 50-50, and I didn't want to. I want to be able to give 100% of myself to one person.
Environment that I grew up in set a good example for my future relationships.
That's a no for me. That is a no for me. I wish I could say it was the case, but that is not the case for me.
I grew up seeing a lot of broken homes and people who had divorced parents, and I felt super fortunate that that wasn't my home life, and I'm sure it shaped me in ways that I'm not even able to comprehend. They were a really good example of the way that I want to treat another human.
My mother, I just remember her like doing it all. She was just like the pillar of strength, and I think just saying that, I always thought like, okay, I can do it no matter what, and if I have a husband that can complement that, then that's awesome. My name is Emerald, and I'm monogamous.
That's wonderful. When your mother shows you like that, like empowers you, you know, as a kid. I think that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
My husband and I have been together for 17 years, and I think that within our monogamy, there's an issue that I have with him, that we're addressing it head on, and we're able to fix that within our relationship, as opposed to introducing other people. And so I think that over the years, our foundation has been strengthened simply because we're able to communicate to one another.
Communication is key. Communication is key. It's very much key.
I grew up, my parents were married, they've been married from my birth to now. Eventually my mom stayed home and my dad kept working. But he still was trying to be active in my brother and mine's life. But as I developed mental health issues and became a difficult child, he did not cope well with that, and he kind of like pieced out
transition.
For a bit. So I don't think that set a very great example, because in my greatest time of need, I would have appreciated if he stuck by my mom and stuck by me. So even if it is difficult for me to interact with my child, that's not what I want for my future.
My experience growing up was definitely similar to yours. My father was away a lot, so it was just me, my older sister, and my mom. And the way that my parents communicate, it's like their relationship, they can do pretty much over the phone. It's that lack of communication, and also having an emotionally unavailable mother. It definitely shaped a lot of codependency issues on my end.
I'm sorry.
My father was an alcoholic up and through my teenage years, and when he recovered, my mother became a really bad alcoholic. I guess a good precedent for monogamy, you stay together with the same person till death. They were together until she died, but it was not good for either of them. I don't think that they loved each other at the point in time that I saw them. All it kind of like says to me in that is like, don't stay with someone because you're supposed to. You signed a piece of paper. Or because
that's not enough of a reason.
Together. You need to take care of yourself first, because you can't be a good parent to your child. You can't be a good partner if you aren't taking care of yourself.
I grew up in a pretty
100%. I would say 100%. Do not stay together with somebody just because. Make sure that you stay with someone like don't do it just because. Don't do it because of religion. Don't do it because of expectations. That is not enough. Expectations and because somebody else is telling you religion that you're going to go to hell type of thing. That is not enough. That is not enough.
You needed to behave certain ways, that you needed to act and be, and I played that role really, really well. And, you know, and I was applauded for it, and I was given opportunities because of it. And to kind of step out of that was really hard, and mainly because my family was just surrounded by a lot of secrecy. We don't talk about things. We shift them under the rug, and we just bury our emotions as much as we can so that we don't really have to deal with it. And that is not at all how I'm choosing to lead my life.
That's good.
My name is Katie,
That's
and I'm
good.
polyamorous. I struggled with my faith and also being a polyamorous person, because this is absolutely completely frowned upon in our community. I was a worship pastor for many, many years in a very conservative church. When I decided to just be a little bit more truthful with who I was, I had to really re-wrap my mind around what I truly conceived God to be and what that love towards me looks like. I realized there was just no way that I could keep hiding this really important part of myself.
I do think it's important, because there is toxic Christianity, right? Where some people are not given an actual good, healthy framework of having a healthy relationship with God, and then being able to live in the normal world. It's kind of when it's so strictly black and white, and you have somebody standing at the front of the church telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and it's so constructed in such a manner that you are not able to freely open your mind to understanding people on certain levels and things like that. It creates huge levels of toxic judgment that you may even have for yourself. That's been my struggle. Much less judging other people, but like yourself, you know? Hold on, I got a hair in my eye. Yeah. So it's sad when it can be like that. It's very sad, and I'm very sorry that those are things that people have to go through. It really sucks, because, you know, God is love, but people may not always have that love in their heart. A polyamorous relationship is appropriate for raising a family.
Relationship is appropriate for raising a family.
I wonder. I'm interested to hear this conversation here.
So I have a 6-year-old, and me and my 2 partners, we raise him, and Baltimore City, you know, schools knows about it. My son has an IEP, so that means he has some learning disabilities. And there's 3 people to support, to be there for him. So I don't know, I think for me, just it's allowed me the freedom to, you know, kind of go after goals, go after dreams, and have the support system still at home. And I know my son is lacking nothing.
I wonder why she's not on that side.
It's tricky because, you know, you have other little kids are like, oh, why does Lucas have 2 moms and a dad, you know? And it's just kind of easy to just be like, you know, families just look different sometimes. Just being more open about it, even that in itself is gonna give kind of just more space for these family structures to be just respected. Because I know that in my community, I think we're the only ones really kind of openly being this way about who we are. And we haven't seen any sort of backlash or anything like that, so.
You know, logically, practically, it does make sense to have that support. And we're also talking about kids when we say family. I think it expands much further than that. And so you see people who already have multiple parents with stepdads, stepmoms. And so I see no reason that this is not an addition to that, you know? So I just want to put that forth too.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, the one thing I heard is the 3
I don't
of
hate
you,
this. I don't hate that.
You're gonna do so he can be successful and loved and cared for and feel safe and be safe.
That's good.
My name is Mike, and I am monogamous.
That's good.
What I love about my wife so much,
I would have to say that. Hold on. I would have to say that I'm not against a polyamorous parental situation. Obviously, mind your business, right? You know, those who are not in the relationship, mind your business. I feel like as long as everything's copacetic between the partners and they're creating a great, like he was saying, like how that lady was saying, they create a safe space for the child, and the child is not harmed emotionally, physically, mentally in no way, and is protected and safe. Do whatever you gotta do. Like, I feel like, I mean, you know what, to be honest, having a third person would be a lot of help when you have a child. So much help when you have a child. And your child will never feel alone and abandoned or in the way, because there's always somebody there to be with your child. Yeah. This is kind of selling the reason to have another person.
And we have found ways that we support each other with what we like to do professionally and spiritually and help out. And I think that's a lot of what I took away today. I saw that with the other side.
So as for like my household.
That's good.
We have 5 children.
That's good that he's understanding.
So it's mainly us doing the brunt of the school pickups, drop off, all that kind of stuff. While I do see that it would be very beneficial to have someone else, I think that's why nannies are available, babysitters, that kind of thing. Trying to add someone else to our lifestyle would make me so anxious. It would just be like, oh my gosh, there's another person in the house that needs something, that has to do something, and then somebody else to have to deal with, and then they possibly want sex tonight. I would be like, I'm over it. So
she's like exhausted. Right.
That's how it feels. Like Google calendars exist.
Right.
Like I get what you're saying, and that there is like a lot of that in the polyamorous community where you're interested in someone and they're like, hey, look, I really like you, but I just don't have the bandwidth right now to add another partner.
Right.
On the same note, if you or your husband got another partner, they could watch the kids while the two of you go out on a date night. Like that would.
She liked that. She liked that idea.
Your husband to be able to go off while like. Because they could, you know, be integrated into the family.
All right, we can cut.
That was good. I do feel like that was a good conversation of understanding. I thought that this was going to be, because I mean, the last one that we saw was very, very intense, very, very intense. So I just thought all of them were intense like that. But this one I really enjoyed learning, you know, learning about, because this is something that I don't think that I don't think I will ever come across. Like, I don't know if I'm going to come across, I mean, not to say it'll never happen, but I don't know how likely it is that I'm going to come across somebody who is, you know, a polyamorous person that would be open to having the conversation and just for a learning stance, right? Because I love learning about people and how people are and why they do what they do and what they like and who they are, right? And especially having somebody of a different stance or a different view or a different perspective. I love having those conversations because then you get to learn more about you and about them. You learn more about the world. You learn more about the people around you by a few conversations with somebody. So, and I think it also broadens your perspective and widens your mind on what you can, you know, to help you lead a better life. You honestly need to learn about the people around you and, you know, who they are and what they go through and how they deal with those things, right? So I think that that's very, very important. And this was really great to learn about from people in a calm setting, right? That we're just having conversations. It's not like you're right, I'm wrong type of thing, right? Because I know so many people that are like that when it comes to a conversation, no matter what it is, like one person's right, one person's wrong. And that's not always the case. We're just exchanging information and learning about each other, learning about the perspectives, learning about the beliefs and the relationships and the mental the paths that you may take, and it's not something to insult somebody or take them down or dismiss or diminish the other person's view, but more so just understanding each other, which I think more of us need to do in this world, is to understand each other. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Which side do you stay on? Let's talk about it. Like, talk about, like, are you more polyamorous? Are you more monogamous? With any of the prompt questions that they were asking, answer them in the description box below and let me know what your thoughts are. Talk to me. Let me know. If you like this video, hug the life out of like button. I love you guys as always. And until next time, buddies. Toodles.